Mud ball. Mud ball! Oh, mud ball. Mud ball. Mud ball. Mud ball.
Welcome to the Mud Ball Podcast. I'm here with Victor and Matt.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about PGA Tour coaches because
PGA coaches are becoming controversial. There's so many coaches out there right now, like George Gankus and Butch Harmon, all those PGA Tour coaches out there right now. I just wanted to see if you guys think any of them are severely overrated or underrated right now.
I think with the rise in social media, I wouldn't say anybody's overrated. I would say coaches have a certain style, and not every style is going to fit every player. I think some of them get a bad rap just because they cost a certain amount of money, and then people don't like what they teach. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's, first of all, if you're going to be at that level, you're going to go with a guy that you trust because that's what's making you money. So there's certainly different styles out there, many different ways to swing a golf club. And the guys that are successful are the guys that I think find a coach and stick with them because that coach knows their swing and that player knows how the coach communicates and it works for them. But I don't think jumping from coach to coach is a good thing just because there's a little bit of a disagreement. You're either going to agree with their philosophy and work together, or you're going to cut ties and try to find somebody that works.
Yeah, but Tiger went through how many coaches in the span of 10 years after his divorce, I think?
But again, Tiger's a rare case of he was never satisfied. And I don't know this for certain, just what I've read is he got the most out of the coach that he was using at the time, and he always wanted to change, and he felt like he could get better. Which again goes to the point of, that relationship kind of, took its course. I don't think I can't speak for Tiger in any way, but I don't think he'd ever have a bad thing to say about any of the coaches, just that he got what he wanted out of that relationship with the coach, and he needed something different, so he moved on to a different coach.
And you've been playing golf for...
Like 10 years.
10 years. And you've worked with how many coaches?
Like 5.
5,
Maybe
okay.
4.
So, Victor, why did you go through 5 coaches?
Okay, so the first one just... So I changed because I wasn't having very good experiences with him. He's the one who taught me how to play golf, so I'm very grateful for him. But at the end, he just I felt like I had to change to get to where I wanted to get to. And then for the others, he was just kind of the same. I stuck with each coach for a couple of years, and the one I'm with right now, I've been with him for 3 years too. But I wouldn't say it was anything bad between me and the coach. It was just the things he was teaching. I think they didn't apply to me anymore.
And you were with the coach with John Rahm, right?
Well, my coach helped him with. So in Spain, we have this elite college. I mean, not college, but school thing, which is called the Blume. This BLUME, and the best players in the country in I think it's 11th and 12th grade in high school here. They go to that place. It's in Madrid. It's in the capital, and they train with the best facilities and best coaches in Spain. And John Rahm went there, so the coach was he coached him for a couple of years too.
So not like a direct coach?
Not direct coach, but he was the coach he had while he was there.
Yeah. But would you say he's good or you didn't like him?
Oh, I like it. He's the one I'm with right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I stuck with him for a lot of years now because I was receiving lessons from him while I was with my other coaches too, but then I stuck with him primarily.
Okay. So back to George Gankus. What do you guys think of his social media rise over the last 5 years?
I personally don't know the guy, so I cannot really speak for him.
I think he took full advantage of, social media and the, just the rise of the internet coach. And I think he was able to do it in a way that, brought attention to him. It's certainly some of the things he teaches are different which again, works for some people. I think he's been able to capitalize on a lot of the social media out there. Didn't hurt that Matt Wolff had a very successful collegiate career and now onto the PGA Tour. But again, it's coaching is more than just getting stuff from somebody, getting knowledge from somebody and putting it into play. You have to be able to trust that person. You have to be able to understand that person. And when you get to the highest level, there are swing coaches, but there are performance coaches, there are mental coaches, there are dietitians. If you go to a PGA Tour event on any given practice round, you're going to see 3 to 4 to even 5 people walking down the fairway with a tour player. And some of them even have a short game coach, a putting coach, and a swing coach. And all 3 of those are different people. So I think it's, if you're so inclined and talented enough to put yourself out on social media and be able to get your message across, obviously you're going to be able to help more people than being at a green grass facility and learning, at a range. But that's not to say there's not great coaches out there that are sitting on a driving range waiting for the next Tiger Woods to come through.
Who do you think's the most talented coach out there right now?
Honestly, that's kind of a loaded question, and it's not really one anybody can answer, because
just your opinion.
The most talented coach is the one that's going to get the most out of their players. I mean, I'm not up on all the coaches. Who is it? Cameron McCormick has a bunch. A lot of those guys now are getting into the numbers quite a bit, very technical, and Flight Scope and TrackMan and GC Quad. I was kind of brought up and I was taught how to teach by looking and feeling, and while I like the numbers, I think not necessarily at the PGA Tour level, but certainly at the junior and collegiate level, I think kids are too much focused on numbers and not enough on how to just play the game and score. So I'm a little biased in that effect, because, when somebody says, hey, what are your numbers? Nobody has won a golf tournament hitting a certain club head speed or hitting a certain spin or a certain ball speed. At the end of the day, it's who made the least amount of strokes wins the golf tournament. So I think numbers are valuable, but I also think just learning how to play a golf course and score is kind of becoming a lost art with the younger generation.
You think the problem are the coaches or the players?
I don't think it's the coaches necessarily. I think the coaches are going to what the players want, and I think it's media now. It's the PGA Tour broadcasts. You guys are seeing, it's on TV all the time. They're carrying at this. They're spinning at this. Their club head speed was this. And I think in any other form, the media rules how people think. Back in the day, you didn't have, when Jack Nicklaus played, or even when Tiger played in the very beginning, you didn't have the graphics on the side that Tiger's club head speed was this, and he carried it 300 back when 300 was a milestone. It was just Tiger carried it 300. So people that wanted to be like Tiger went out on the golf course and tried to carry it 300. And I think back then, people were using their own mind and body to figure out how to do that. And I think sometimes we get lost in numbers and we don't quite know how to, get the most out of those numbers. They get spit out at people, and somebody will get hung up on one number and maybe never break 80. And I don't think that helps anybody. There is a lost art to a short game around the green, being able to get out of trouble, having a different variety of shots that sitting on a TrackMan or any one of these devices just doesn't teach you. Having those machines out on the golf course can help you with that. You want to be able to increase some spin. You want to know how to increase some spin, and I don't think technology is a bad thing by any means. Back when I first got in the game, we didn't have any of that. You just had to figure it out on your own. So having technology isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think relying solely on technology is where we're going to fall short. So if you're out there and you're fortunate enough to have that machine that you can bring to a practice green and a wedge green, I think it's only going to help you in the long run, because now you can validate the data. You can validate what you just did. You're not just seeing something and saying, I did it. But now you can say, all right, look at that screen. I looked at the result. That's what I like. I want to do more of that.
Butch Harmon's been one of the best coaches for the longest time, especially during the 2010s. I feel like he's a little overrated just because he got the spotlight with Tiger. And DJ went to him, Ricky went to him, and they won a couple because they're good players. But I feel like he's one of the coaches that's significantly overrated.
I wouldn't use the term overrated. I think, he sees something that other people didn't. So he got them to that next level. And I think when, some coaches will admit, okay, I see everything I've seen in you, where I don't understand and can make any more changes to your game that are going to help you. But I think when so many people go to him and continue to win, I wouldn't call that overrated. I don't necessarily agree with all the hype from it, because I just think that's what sells media. I think I don't agree with all these best coaches lists, because again, you could have a coach from, a small 9-hole course that could get you to win the Masters one day. And you know what? He might have gotten you to the best possible point you can get to, and that got you to win the Masters. But nobody else might understand or believe in him. So
same thing with Sean Foley. Sean Foley, he was teaching juniors before he teach Tiger. Came out of nowhere.
Exactly. And that's it. It's about how he communicates with his students, which makes anybody, in somebody's eyes, the best coach. I don't agree with any of this, this ranking system of the best in the state or the best here and there. It's what you say and how you say it that comes across to people to make them understand it. There's still great coaches out there that couldn't turn a TrackMan on, and they can still get you to a different level. But they're never going to be recognized as one of the best.
Just because they didn't work with a high-end player?
They didn't work with a high-end player, and they don't work with the high-end technology. Unfortunately, money rules all these polls and all these media outlets. So the guy on a range in the middle of nowhere that's getting the next Tiger Woods ready, hopefully he gets his accolades when it all comes through. But like I said, I've known plenty of teachers in my lifetime, in my career, that, could barely turn on a TrackMan, much less read all the data and spit it back to you. And I don't think for 1 second that diminishes what they know or could get across to one of their students.
So to end the podcast, I wanted to ask you guys little individual questions. So I want you guys to name your perfect ideal foursome. Dead or alive, celebrity or golfer, male or female, it doesn't matter.
You want to go first, Matthew? Or?
No, Victor, you can go.
Okay, so my personal best foursome would be Tiger, Seve, and then my captain from my golf team, which is the owner of the podcast too. Great player, insane player actually, and yeah.
Let's see. For me, this would be a little hard. Probably my father. I would say going back, probably a Ben Hogan and probably Arnold Palmer.
All right.
What about you?
For me, it would be Tiger, John Daly, Jack Nicklaus.
Okay.
I think one of the three major players to have lived. So thank you guys for being here.
No problem, Nate. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I'll see you guys next time.